Hello, tribe. I hope you're doing really well and that the pestering separate self is not bothering you too much today. I have a very informal video today because I wanted to first be just completely open with you as I usually am and talk to you about this topic that initially I didn't think there was so much material to explain and give some value out of it, but the more I went through the process and the more I saw the thoughts and everything else that came to me as I made the decision, I realized that there is huge potential for a lot of people like us to talk about this topic because I think sometimes it's just swept under the rug. So let's talk about money and spirituality, shall we? You see, the purpose of this video is actually to first let you know, as the open person that I just simply like to be, that I, for the first time in 2.5 years or so, I am monetizing my channel. I'll give you the explanation for that in a little bit and what that means actually. Some of you might remember that I did a poll a couple of times already where I asked if you are getting ads when you see my videos. I did some research and I don't really understand how this works because I know that some channels are not monetized and they don't see ads ever, but somehow my channel has been getting ads about 25% of the time for people. This also happens in my Spanish channel, coincidentally, because I did the poll and there was again 25% of the people actually said that they would get ads at some point. And I corroborated it myself as I opened my own videos on my phone on a different account, and they showed ads sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And that wasn't the main reason why I decided to monetize my channel, but it was something that was nagging me when I saw that my channel was being monetized. People were seeing ads and I wasn't getting paid for that. And it was just something that in my own rebel inside, of course I said, why is YouTube going to make money and I'm not going to get a chunk of that? So that's one of the factors that of course make me take the decision, but it wasn't the main factor. I'll give you the full scope in a bit. So that is the first thing. You're going to probably see ads, hopefully not very annoying, but I think we all gotten used to ads at this point. I actually do. I just watch them for whatever channel I'm watching. Sometimes I skip them, so feel free to skip them. It doesn't bother me. But I thought that this was a good opportunity to just start getting something in return, and that leads me to my next point, which is actually an intermediate point in terms of money and spirituality. You see, since I got into spirituality, I saw that there is this sort of fear or a kind of rejection that we all seem to have in terms of how we perceive money and spirituality. This is probably exacerbated by our own experiences with churches and other spiritual organizations that have always taken money and made a fortune out of people's faith, if you will. And maybe that is our collective rejection to anything related to money and spirituality. And I have to confess that although I see a lot of people concerned with this from both sides, from the people that create content and services to the students, clients, customers, whatever you want to call them, the people that buy into these contents and services, there is on the one hand fear to charge for their services and content, and there is also a reluctance to pay for spiritual advice and spiritual guidance and content and so on. So I do see a lot of this, and I think this is where there is a potential release of our own fears and rejections to the perception of spirituality as being somehow completely devoid of any monetary gain, because money is dirty, right? Now I have to confess that I've never have this, although I have to say that as a service provider, even in the past without spirituality, when I was a nutrition and training coach, I often felt sort of not really, didn't feel good charging money for something I just could do, for free. And it didn't cost me anything. I mean, it was all my knowledge in here. My knowledge wasn't worthy of that. It wasn't worth it for money. I could just tell people, what to do and design a whole plan for them for training and whatnot. So, yeah, that's one thing that I did have, and I continue to have to a certain degree. But I started to see now the value that this is providing people, and I know it's simply a way of living. And so, even though I didn't subscribe to the whole idea of dirty money, spirituality should not be charged money. Actually, in my beginning stages and my awakening, I spent a good amount of money in guides and retreats and so on, because they were so powerful to me, and I just decided to spend that money there. So I never had that, but I did realize going through this process that there is a lot of fear and rejection to that sort of approach to doing things and helping people. If you can help people, why would you charge? That's not spiritual. And I think there is a lot of reflection to do in this regard. And I myself would like to just contribute this little part to say that it's, you see, everything that we see has, and I won't even mention when people say, oh, everything is energy, everything is energy. When you see the creation from the point of view that everything is sacred or nothing is sacred, both are quite valid points, then there is nothing, you see, that we still hold on to a sort of idealism. And you know me for not having any ideals. I have no ideals. And whenever I see something that's popping out, which I did have a little bit with the YouTube channel not being monetized, because I just felt like, wasn't going to make much money, and if I could, be free, or leave my people free from ads, I would do that. And somehow YouTube showed me that wasn't possible. People would still get ads somehow. But I just don't subscribe to idealisms. I don't think there is a proper way of living. There is no such thing, because that's just not the way humans are. We can certainly create ideals and we can live by them, but that doesn't mean that they're true. It's sort of like the rules of the game that we make. And this universe doesn't have any rules. We make the rules, but at the same way that we create the rules, then we can abolish them, right? And we realize that when we abolish them, they were never true. They were just rules for the game. So in idealism, there is this notion that we shouldn't charge for those things. But you see, when you dedicate yourself to something, you want to live out of that. This is your passion. This is what you do. This is what I'm doing. And of course, that's what I would like to continue to do. And for that, I need to spend money. I need to pay for expenses. Actually, for everything that I do, it generates expenses that I need to cover. And you would be surprised of the amount of money you have to spend online just to keep the sort of platforms and contents that you create. So I started to realize that, yes, this was a sort of job in a way. Plus, I love doing it, and I wish I could do it for the rest of my life. And right now, I would like to establish that. So I'm taking that step, and that's basically what it is. It's almost like a symbolic thing that I'm doing in YouTube, monetizing it as a way for me to say, yes, there are people who are enjoying this, and there is an indirect way for me to be compensated for that, which is the YouTube monetization. However, because things in everybody's lives are not coincidental, I decided also that I wanted to create more specific content on a teaching that I want to start providing for people. And this, as you know, is derived from the law of one and non-duality, my two main influences for the teaching of liberation of the mind, is what I call it. It is this freedom that we achieve by living in that state of unity. which is really what the law of one came here to give us. It's what Jesus meant to give us too. This is what Gautama Siddhartha did, the Buddha, trying to give us this. Everybody has been trying, anybody who has been able to give this teaching to us, that's what they want us to have: freedom, liberation from the mind. And so one of the things that I'm doing is, the first and foremost, is that I'm talking to you. Yes, exactly you. If you're interested, I'm going to leave in the description a link in which you can book a call with me. That's simple. Instead of seeing me through that screen, just me talking, how about I listen to you? I want to listen to you, and I want to know how everything that I have done so far, that you have been watching and enjoying, this has provided some value to you. I want to know it because I want to tailor this to your preferences. Whatever I do in the future, I want to tailor it to you, and not to just my arbitrary thinking, which, believe me, sometimes it takes a road and it says, this is what I want to do. But what I want to do is listen to you. I want to know what you feel, what you think, what has happened to you. I want to know your story, and I want to know how else I can provide this service in a better way. Whether that be simply talking one-on-one, could be indirect teaching, it could be anything. I don't know. I don't know how you like to learn. I don't know how you like to absorb what I'm teaching you, and I want to learn from you as well. Teach-learner situation here, and I want to explore that with you. So the first thing I'm going to say is, please, if you're interested in telling me your story, telling me what's going on right now, maybe you're confused with something within your own sense of being. Yes, we talk about the law of one. Yes, we talk about non-duality and philosophies and teachings and all of this. But how about how you feel? What's going on with you? What's nagging you? I want to know all of that, because that is valuable to me. It's a free call. You don't have to pay for anything. I just want to listen to you. I started doing it in my Spanish channel, having a really good time. I don't know for how long I'm going to do it, but I want to listen to you again. And I made a whole schedule just for you to pick a day and a specific time that works for you, depending on where you live, and we can sit down and chat. How about that? So please just go here, description below, and book your call with me. A good hour we're gonna spend together, have fun, maybe cry a little bit, and if you make me cry, then that's going to be remarkable. Someone almost already did. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is that one of the yields that I got from these teachings is what I call, well, we call it the direct path. I don't call it that. I won't take credit for it. And this is the way in which we can realize the oneness in us, the creator in the self. And this is, of course, I'm using law of one language, but all we're doing is simply recognizing the essence of ourselves. And this is the basis of my teaching. How I do it, it's going to be tailored by what you tell me. However, I created a course that has the whole perfect steps that I find perfect for me. And if this is of interest to you, you can go and sign up for that course right away. It's a very symbolic price for the value that is given there. And I'm not saying this out of my mouth. I really believe it. I think the essence is there. And even if you don't like it, let me know. I want to know if you didn't like it. You want your money back? I'll give you your money back. I simply want to know, how is this teaching? Maybe I'll just need to change a couple of things. This is completely between me and you, and it's going to remain like this as long as I am able to do it physically. So again, the two things that I would invite you to do is to go down in the description and check my course. Also book a call with me if you're interested. I want to know you. I want to get to know you. You know me already. I talk too much. I want to know you and listen to you. So this video is just for that. Just me venting out, or not venting out, but just liberating myself from these thoughts that I've got since I decided to monetize my channel, monetize my content, simply start making a living out of this, which I enjoy, I love. And no matter what, just like I said, I will continue to do the law of one, even if I have to read the book to the camera because something broke or whatever, and keep uploading it to YouTube. In the same way, it doesn't matter where I end, I will continue to do this because there's nothing else more important in my life than to show you and others how to liberate your mind from all the conflict, from all the anxiety, the depression, and everything else that might be going in your mind, any issues, just all of that can be wiped out and seen from a different perspective. And that's what I want to do. So that was my video today. Thank you so much for simply being part of this. The fact that you are there is the fact that I'm here, or the reason why I'm here. It's because you continue to be there. And I really appreciate you in the comments. I know all of your names because we're not a big channel here. And I just love reading your comments. I love just simply interacting with you. And your emails are awesome too. I appreciate them. I am at this point where I can continue to enjoy my audience, and I truly appreciate it. So that's my way of saying I love you, thank you, and I'll be in touch. Hopefully I'll see you in a Zoom call soon. See you then.